So the second question tonight, the question I want to ask everybody, I'll ask myself. Do you think that the tag team titles bouncing back and forth between different teams is good or bad for the WWE? I think it's good. And I think that the IWC blowing up on the internet, already yelling that Triple H is losing the prestige of the titles, I think that shows you it's good. I think that is proof that when the IWC gets upset about something, it's probably good for the casual audience. So how does it make sense? A title is supposed to switch people. A title is supposed to feel like something somebody could win at any point in time. It adds a layer of realism to titles if they do jump around a little bit. I'm not saying every week the belt needs to change places, but it gives longer runs like Gunther and Roman Reigns. It gives more prestige to those runs when someone else can't put together 8 months of a title run, right? I think when Gunther drops the Intercontinental Championship, it should actually bounce around a little bit. It should show how impressive it actually was for him to be able to defend the title that many times and to hold the title for that long. I like the idea of these titles bouncing back and forth, especially between two people. I like the idea of the title going from Judgment Day to Cody to Judgment Day to Cody. It creates a rivalry. It creates a sense of importance between the two groups, and it adds a level of just equality to that wrestling. Cody and Jay don't need the titles. Let's be real clear about that. For everybody who's overreacting to this, I said it when it happened. Those two guys don't need the title. I don't know why you put the title on them, but you did. But being in the title mix doesn't hurt anyone. The Judgment Day being vulnerable and not looking like a super dominant group, that doesn't hurt anyone. This is a reminder that not all factions have to be overwhelmingly dominant. They can be vulnerable. We can see cracks in the foundation, and that can actually make for more interesting storylines moving forward. This is my weekly reminder, though, to Triple H. This is why it's extra stupid to only have one set of tag belts with guys that have to hold two belts. The optics are so bad. I hope we are getting closer to fixing this problem because I absolutely do not like this. But I will say, I'm going to knock on Triple H for that. Now I'm going to come back with a backhanded compliment here. Triple H has done an extremely solid job of sneakily building up both shows' tag team divisions with teams that are cohesive, that make sense, and that we're actually starting to care about. And now if this sounds like deja vu, that's because last week on SmackDown, I talked about the same topic. But here we are on Monday Night Raw. I watched the show, and I'm seeing the same thing. You have Judgment Day, you have Alpha Academy, you have Imperium, you have DIY, you have the Viking Raiders, you have the New Day, you have Jay and Cody, and you have Jinder Mahal's team popping back up. You can do a lot with that pool of talent. That is enough tag teams to warrant its own set of belts. Now combine that with the SmackDown teams that I talked about last week, and IWC is going to have to explain to me what they keep trying to tell me about how AEW has the better tag team division. Judgment Day, Alpha Academy, Imperium, DIY, Viking Raiders, New Day, Jinder Mahal team, Brawling Brutes, Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, Waller in Theory, LWO, and the OC. That's going to be tough to top, guys. That's a solid list of tag teams. That's enough tag teams to warrant two sets of belts. Now, I think the Judgment Day are ultimately going to drop the belts again. I think this time they're going to drop it to a team not named Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes in the very near future. And I think the rest of these boys are going to start cooking. I think the tag team division is ready to kind of stand on its own with the teams that we have. Now, here's the thing. I'll talk about Jay and Cody winning the tag team titles, and I'll talk about how they didn't need them, but be real. It made for a great headline at Fastlane, and I think that's all it was. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there was any plan going forward. It was just a way to get people to talk after that premium live event. And that's the fun thing about booking. And I think we can expect this from Triple H a little bit. The unexpected doesn't have to have real consequences. But it is a great way. to give opportunities to people like Jimmy Uso to show up on Raw and cost the tag team titles. So in a way, this little maneuver that got you some publicity at Fastlane was ultimately just a way to set up, hey, we need to get this Jimmy and Jay story moving forward. So in a way, I guess something that didn't really need to have purpose had a little bit of purpose. But either way, once again, I'm going to give credit to the new god of booking, because this is the type of stuff that keeps the casual fans interested. We like title changes. We like to see new people kind of rise to the top. And I like the bouncing back and forth. I know the IWC doesn't love it, but I think it adds that UFC level of realism that at any point in time, a title is always in danger. And I hope this is indicative of Triple H's willingness to make title runs feel like they're more based in that realism than the idea that we have to protect the legacy of titles. I think like with the Intercontinental Championship, we've done that. Gunther has brought the prestige back. Now it can bounce around a little bit. We don't need to go from Gunther to another 180-day title run. We could go 30. We could go 45. We can see that title. We can go 2-3 weeks. We can have that title bounce back and forth between Gable and Bronson Reed. However they want to do it, I'm just hoping that this booking is indicative of Triple H's willingness to be a little more sporadic with these titles.